What's good? What's good, sports world? Rise Up Unlimited Radio Show brought to you by WDAP Radio and WDAP TV. Going down right now on a late night. I am your host, Andre the Torch Robinson, the fire starter in the building. Make sure you like and share. We are currently right now on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Yeah. We're going to have a whole lot of fun. We're going to do 32 NFL teams in 2 hours. Give you some updates on what's going on in the sports world today, locally. And I do got a fan favorite. I got a fan favorite. My brother is in the building. You're about to see who he is in just a moment as soon as I remove this overlay, nevertheless. But like and share the show first, man. We want to, make sure that y'all tuned in. Y'all locked into this one, all right? So we'll give you about, 45 seconds. So lock and load, like and share, get this thing rolling, all right? We're gonna have a good old time. It's gonna be a whole lot of fun, all right? So let's do it. Shout out to my brother that's in the building right now. He is Mr. Consistent. Championship pedigree all around this guy. I'm telling you. Whether it's winning more medals than Kurt Angle, whether it's giving you the sports up to date. My God, New Orleans Saints fan and Buffalo Bills, fanatic. My guy, Dalton Smith. What's good, Dalton? What's good, my guy? So, listen, Dalton Smith, we got a lot to cover, get through. We're going to start this joint off by, letting everybody know right now that if you want to join the conversation, you can. 716-954-5209 is the number. All right. We got 32 NFL teams to get through in 2 hours. Just to give y'all some, give y'all some up-to-date on how we feel about these 32 teams right now currently. But before we get into that, let's talk about these scores, these games, man. It's a lot of sports going on right now. Who should I start with? I should start with, you know what? I'll start with the ladies. Let's start with the ladies first. NCAA women's action, Baylor. All right. Baylor, number 18th ranked Baylor. 93-27 over Tennessee State. We got number one South Carolina, 62-44 over South Dakota State. NC State, 81-47 over Davidson. Oregon, 88-38 over Eastern Washington. And UCLA and USC is always a battle, no matter whether it's football, basketball, women's basketball, it don't matter. The rivalry is always there. 59-56 UCLA victors over the USC Trojans, all right? In NBA action right now, the Suns, they stunning the Clippers right now, 78-59, all right? Dalton, I know you looking at it right now. I know you looking at it too. You got it right on your joint, 4:56 left in the third. The Suns is right now sunning the Clippers, all right? The Heat check, all right? They went to Houston. They had a problem in Houston, all right, as the Houston Rockets took a 3-point loss to the Miami Heat. Let's see. All right, Deborah Reddy, what's going on? Jeremy, what's up? Hey, Deborah. Shout out to you guys. We'll talk about the San Francisco 49ers coming up shortly, all right? So the Miami Heat get back to 500 as Tyler Hero went off for 41 points in this game and had 10 3-point shots in this one. Draining from three. Drano, baby. Drano. 10 of them things, all right? Now, the Bucks was like bounce checks today. Bucks like bounce checks against the Grizzlies as the Grizzlies. I mean, they smashed, they stacked them and pent them boys. 142 to 101. The Grizzlies at home dismantle the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm sure John Morant, yes, had 25 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists on a triple double night for him. All right. Memphis looking really good. Pelicans lost to the Utah Jazz. They had to take note in this one, 132 to 129 in overtime. The Utah Jazz getting it done without Donovan Mitchell anymore, getting it done. Jordan Clarkson had 2 clutch overtime buckets in this one. Also, Zion had 31 points for the Pelicans. Jordan Clarkson had 39 for the Utah Jazz. Jordan Clarkson becoming a phenomenon right now, becoming a leading up to, all-star player. All right. Jordan Clarkson looking real good. All right. Now, let's get into the NFL. We already know. We just watched it earlier. The 49ers, 21-13 over the Seattle Seahawks on the road. I know Deborah Beatty's super happy about that. And once again, like and share the show. I didn't really even share the show yet, but I am going to share it now. Make sure y'all like and share the show. All right, because we got a lot to talk about tonight. A lot to talk about. Me and my guy right here, Dalton Smith, in the building. Mr. Consistent in the building. We might even talk some wrestling tonight. We might talk some little, Jaw U Club in the building. We might talk some wrestling too later on. But let's get through these scores. Kings 3-2 over the Bruins in a shootout final. Hurricanes 3-2 over the Kraken. The Kraken got cracked by the Hurricanes 3-2. Penguins 4-2 over the Panthers. Penguins been looking good lately. All right. They did have 2 straight back-to-back victories over the Buffalo Sabres, a team that actually has been looking pretty decent lately. Ducks 5-2 over the Montreal Canadiens. Rangers 3-1 over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Flyers 2-1 over the Devils. Lightning 4-1 over the Blue Jackets. Stars 2-1 over the Capitals. Jets 2-1. When there's a jet, you're a jet all the way. The Jets over the Predators 2-1. Golden Knights looking really good, 4-1 over the Blackhawks. And those Sabres I talked about earlier actually this time beat the Colorado Avalanche. They didn't give them the 1-2 punch and then let them off the ropes this time. They actually finished the job. Tage Thompson, Dylan Cousins, Alex Tuck, all scored in this game. All right, all scored in this one. So getting scoring from everybody. UPL making multiple saves in this one too. The Blues 4-3 over the Oilers as well in the shootout. All right. We had NCAA men's basketball, but none of it was top 25 except for Wisconsin, 78-56 over Lehigh. NCAA football coming up tomorrow. We got some bowl games early tomorrow. Miami of Ohio against UAB in the hometown Lenders Bahamas Bowl. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm going to the Bahamas. I wish I could go to the Bahamas. Don't you, Dalton? We wish we could go to the Bahamas right now. Go to the Bahamas, pour some Mai Tai, give us some mimosas, give me a little lap. Okay, all right. I'm going too far. I don't talk about lap dances on shows. That sounds like something we leave for Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry. It's too early. All right. Troy versus UTSA in the Duther Trading Cure Bowl coming up. All right. We got Cincinnati and Louisville in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl coming up at 11 o'clock in the morning on the 17th. In Florida versus Oregon State in the SRS Distributed Las Vegas Bowl. I wonder if Rocco Raquelli is going to be there for that one. Wondering. Maybe we'll get him on the horn soon, coming up real soon. Now, with that being said, those were your scores, all right? Those were your scores from today's games. We got a lot of comments in the comment section earlier. I see what's going on. Jeremy in the house, of course, as usual, doing this thing, putting down some interesting news. Jeter cut down from Red Sox MLB news. Up. Sabres win. Absolutely. You already know. Sabres definitely won again tonight, doing their thing. So we happy about that. Jordan Clarkson is a stud. Eddie, what's going on, Eddie? Niners era, our real deal. Yeah, man, they real deal. We're gonna talk about them very shortly, actually. Cole Beasley, activate Cole Beasley now. What's good? They said torch. Yes, sir. What's good? We in the building. Like and share. We doing some late night talk, sports talk right here. Myself, Dalton Smith, on the Rise Up Unlimited Radio Show, brought to you by WDAP Radio and WDAP TV. All right. Right now, Spreaker.com, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Yes, we're there. All right. So let's have some fun. Let's do it. 32 teams. You ready for this, Dalton? You ready to knock these 32 teams out? Are you ready? Yo, Dalton told me he was ready before the show, and he said, get ready because this one's going to be explosive. I mean, very explosive. All right. So like and share the show. If you want the StreamYard, we're willing to do that too. Give you the StreamYard if you want parts. But we're going to start off by talking about the AFC East teams first, and we're going to go right down the line all the way through 32 teams. All right. Matter of fact, we're going to do it the opposite way because I don't want to start off with the Bills first. I'm going to leave the Bills for last. All right. We'll start off going from the NFC West all the way up. All right.
I like that.
All the way up. All right. So the NFC West, we'll talk about the LA Rams first, being 4-9. Dalton Smith, we got 2 hours to get this thing done. 4 minutes a pop on each team. Let's talk about it. What's your thoughts on the LA Rams?
They are nothing but disappointment, more like a Super Bowl hangover. Matthew Stafford, he is done. Like, Rams, what happened? What's going on with y'all? Y'all not playing like the Super Bowl. We thought who you thought you were. Next, I got nothing for the Rams.
He said I got nothing much for the Rams. Now, if you guys got something for the Rams or any team that we talking about, you could call in, all right? You see it down there, 716-954-5209. All right, is the call line number right here on Rise Up Unlimited Radio show, brought to you by WDAP Radio and TV, all right, on Spreaker and all your social media platforms, all right? Now, with that being said, let's get to it. Rams. The Rams been quite disappointing since week one, ever since Buffalo put the 31-10 smackdown on those guys. They said golf clubs ready. Yeah, get the golf clubs ready. You know, Baker Mayfield being best for the Rams, I don't know about that. All right. Rams barely snuck by the Falcons. They barely snuck by the Cardinals this year. Then they get beat by the 49ers. The Cowboys put the whooping on them. They beat the Panthers. I don't know if the Panthers was the same team as they are now compared to what they are in the beginning. But then the 49ers spank them. Then the Bucks beat them by a field goal. Then the Cardinals beat them by 10. Then the Saints beat them. Then the Chiefs beat them. Then the Seahawks beat them. How many games in a row was that I just mentioned? Was that about 6 game losing streak after the Panthers win? So they lost the whole entire after October 30th. They lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They lost the whole month of November. They lost the beginning of December, the end of October, and finally got a victory last week. So 6 losses in a row before they finally got a victory last week against the Raiders, in which I was hearing Baker Mayfield might be back. Wrong. Move on. Next. Rams suck right now. Sorry. I don't know why. Aaron Donald, you should have just retired. You should have went out gracefully. You came back for this 4-9 dismal LA Rams team who, like Dalton mentioned, yes, Super Bowl hangover. A team that's been to the Super Bowl, but not in recent, not in recent years. Maybe a couple of years ago, when they played the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the pretenders of the league that I call them pretenders. We're talking about the Arizona Cardinals. Your thoughts on the Cardinals, Dalton?
The point, Cliff Kingsbury, I was not a big fan of him. He's more like a college coach. Diop, got game suspension. Like they couldn't get together. And Kyle Murray, he's now the year. So the Cardinals, they are completely.
Is it time to get rid of Kyler Murray? Is it time to move on from him?
I would say no, since they paid him like $250 million, which I think it was a dumb move. But I'll say this, so I think they're going to get rid of Cliff Kingsbury and get a new coach and keep Colin Murray. That's just my opinion.
Okay, interesting enough. All right, so we got the Seahawks, obviously. I mean, we got the Cardinals. Oh, I'm sorry. See, I almost skipped them. That's how terrible I feel like they've been all season. Chiefs gave them a spanking week 1. Cardinals finally win a game in overtime. Then the Rams spanked them. Cardinals beat the Panthers. I think every team jumped on the Panthers early. But the Eagles, that game right there made me think that the Cardinals may have some type of heart. But after that, Seahawks beat them by 10. They beat the Saints. Surprisingly, the Saints haven't been the greatest. We'll talk about them later. Vikings beat them. Seahawks beat them. Cardinals, again, win a game, but they can't get a winning streak going. They get a couple losing streaks going again. 2-game losing streak after they lose to the 49ers and the Chargers, and they lost to the Patriots. So they're on a 3-game losing streak. 4-9 right now is their total. Their record right now, do not see them making the playoffs. Do see them making a change with the coaching coming up real soon. Dalton, if there's one position that the Cardinals need to get better at, what is the position?
I think it'd be a cornerback, and here's why. Because ever since Patrick Peterson left, the cornerbacks, they haven't been not doing too good. That's just my opinion.
Okay. I definitely can respect that, especially when the cornerbacks are people that you can't even name. Does anybody know who Antonio Hamilton is? Anybody know who Nate Harrison is? Christian Matthew? I know we know about Byron Murphy Jr., Jace Whitaker, Marco Wilson. Nobody stands out. They suck. Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know anybody. Buda Baker is the only one I know in the secondary for real. That means anything. If that means anything. And yeah, Cardinals struggling on that end of the football. I think cornerback, I would agree with you as well, Dalton. And we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the losers of tonight's game against the 49ers, which is the Seahawks. So let's move on to the Seahawks. Your thoughts on the Seahawks, Dalton?
Well, at first I thought they were going to be a worse team in the league, but early season they even beat Russell Wilson's team, the Broncos, and while they were starting to be doing good, but until they lost to the Buccaneers in Germany, lost the Buccaneers, they barely beat the. I'm trying to think. I know they barely beat the Rams. They lost to the Raiders in overtime. Lost to the Panthers. Now you lost to the 49ers. Seahawks, they've been getting still. I don't see them making the playoffs this year. Seahawks, they're done.
I'm glad somebody said that because I literally went on the radio just recently. I'm glad that you said that. I went on the radio recently and told a certain someone that I love dearly as a brother, Mookie Hawkins, for sure, that the Seahawks probably wasn't going to make the playoffs. And this is why. Simple and plain. They lost to the Raiders lately. They barely beat the Rams, but then they lost to the Panthers. They lost to the 49ers. They got the Chiefs next week. They got the Jets the week after that. We're looking at literally a 4-game losing streak. They are 7-7 right now. If you lose 8 or 9 games, you're not making the playoffs. I do not see them beating the Chiefs next week whatsoever on the road, and I don't see them beating the Jets. I really don't. To be honest with you, don't see them beating the Jets. They're going to end up 8-9 and out of the playoffs for sure. It's been a good run. I like what Geno Smith has done. Don't get me wrong. I like Kenneth Walker Jr. I still like Tyler Lockett a lot. That team is young. They'll get it together. Pete Carroll, I don't know if it's time for him to hang it up either. I don't know if it's time to let him go. I think he's a pretty good coach. When you look at things,
he's never gonna get fired. The only way he'll get out is to retire. That's all it's gonna happen. He's never gonna get fired.
Absolutely. I think they savaged this season, especially when your quarterbacks is Geno Smith, Drew Lock, and Sean McMahon, who nobody even knows. He's from Oregon, by the way, has been in the league for 8 seasons. I don't know how many starts he has actually had. But then you got DJ Dallas, Travis Homer, Rashad Penny, Kenneth Walker, who looks good. And your wide receiver core is DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, who's looked good this year, who I think has done a lot. Noah Font has done a service. Will Dissly, I don't know how much Will Dissly has done for that offense, but I think the one position that they need to really, really work on next season is once again another one of these teams that need cornerback play. All right, Trey Brown, Kobe Bryant, Artie Burns, Justin Coleman, Xavier Crawford, those guys. Tyreek Wooten, who we thought was going to be dope from UTSA, all right, from Texas San Antonio. We thought was going to be super dope. Yeah, man, I need to see more from the secondary. They got Quandre Adams, Jamal Adams. Is it time to let Jamal Adams go?
Yes. I'm going to explain why. Ever since he got traded from the Jets, he has nothing but disappointment ever since the trade. I think he's done with the Seahawks. He's been injury prone. Yeah, Jamal Adams, you're done. You're going to get traded or cut in off season.
All right, interesting enough. I like what I hear. Dalton Smith, I told you, he was going to be very, very blunt about a lot of this stuff that's going on here. A lot of these teams we're talking about. Now, let's talk about the winners of tonight's game, which is the 49ers. 49ers looking really, really good. Dalton, what's your thoughts on the 49ers?
First of all, congrats, Deborah Betty, for clinching the NFC West. Y'all deserve it. Now, about the 49ers, I'm impressed with they're using Chris McCaffrey right. Their defense, they're not a joke. I mean, they're pretty good. And Trey Lance, I thought he was gonna be the future, but I ain't seen got hurt though. Jimmy G did pretty good before he got hurt, but now they got he's Mr. Relevant. He's acting like he's not Mr. Relevant. Brock Purdy, he's been impressive. 49ers, they're a pretty good team this year.
So right off the jump, Mr. Relevant is very relevant. Okay, he is the first quarterback to be the Super Bowl quarterback and a Super Bowl winning coach in his first 2 starts. By the way, Brock Purdy. Yep. By the way, doing this thing, big things. My question is, do we even see Trey Lance in a 49ers uniform after this season?
I hate to say it. I had a gut feeling, but anything's possible, though, but I don't know if it was.
I mean, do they trade him off? Jay Andre, what's good, my bro? What's good? What's going on, my brother? Do they trade him off?
They don't need to, though. I mean, why would you trade him since he's the number 3 pick? I mean, yeah, I know Brock Purdy is doing pretty good, though, but it's not worth a trade Lance, though.
So
I will say this, though. Jimmy G, he won't be back in the 49ers next year, though.
Word? After they just paid him?
Oh, they paid him? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they paid him. Shoot, they better pay him. Better pay him even more money. They better pay him again because they were pretty good. Even though Brock Purdy came in and did his doing this thing, they were pretty good before that.
Well, I know they signed 1-year deal though. That's why I said I'm pretty sure he's done.
Oh no, they're gonna have to sign him again. There's no way. There's no way they don't sign him. And here's why. Trey Lance, you really think Trey Lance is ready to be number 2? Because if that's the case, Brock Purdy is the starter next year. And I don't know if he's really the starter for this team. I mean, he's been pretty good the last couple of weeks, but is he really the starter? Now, remember, the 49ers went through this the first time, about to get rid of Jimmy G, had to go get him back, right? Had to go fish him out of the pond to go get him again. I don't think the 49ers want to make that mistake again. I think Jimmy G actually will stay. And I think Trey Lance, man. Trey Lance is in trouble. I don't know if he suits up. If he suits up anytime soon for the 49ers organization. I don't know if Deborah Beatty, how you feel about that. I mean, you can put that in the comment section if you want, but I just don't. I don't see it. I
Or
honestly
any
don't.
49ers fans.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it. You said more 49ers fans. I don't know. We should ask Frederick Wilson how you feel about that. Maybe he'll have an answer to that 49ers riddle. But nevertheless, they clinched the division this week already, 10-4, 6-1 at home. They get over the 500 hump on the road, being 4-3 in the division. They're undefeated in the division. You know, the 49ers has not lost a game in the division this year. And I don't see them losing to the Rams either. So, I mean, the 49ers schedule. Let's talk about the 49ers schedule for the rest of the season is as follows. It's the Commanders, the Raiders, and the Cardinals. I don't see them losing to the Cardinals unless they sit everybody. All right.
Yeah, that's why I agree with you on that part.
So the 49ers very well could be 13-4. All right. Let's go to the New Orleans Saints. Now we're going to go to the South a little bit. Let's get to the South. Your Saints, 4-9. Dalton, your thoughts. I'm letting you take this one away. I have nothing to say about the Saints this year. Nothing. Zero.
Well, I'm not going to make excuses, though, but I'll say this, though. Yeah, they're in a lot of trouble this year. I mean, they are pretty pathetic this year. You don't have no franchise quarterback. Your running game's not doing it right. Dennis Allen, you're not doing a very good job, though. And no, I don't miss Sean Payton. The only reason why I say that, though, ever since this whole Bounty Gate scandal, he has not recovered. I mean, you were 9-8 in the playoffs, and you decided to quit on us like a coward. So, yeah, I got nothing to say.
Nothing to say about the Saints, who started off the season with a 1-point win against the Falcons. Usually they beat the Buccaneers, but the Buccaneers ended up winning 20-10. Then the Panthers took a victory, which was where it took a victory from them. Then the Vikings the next week beat them by a field goal. Saints beat the Seahawks, which is interesting enough. They beat the Seahawks by a touchdown, but then lost to the Bengals, lost to the Cardinals. They zipped the Raiders 24-0. That was probably the highlight of the entire season. Lost to the Ravens, lost to the Steelers, beat the Rams. I think anybody and everybody could beat the Rams at this point. Got shut out by the 49ers. And then the Buccaneers won again, which is surprisingly. So the Buccaneers got 2 wins off of the Saints this year, which usually doesn't happen, which makes the next team that we're going to talk about, which I think is the Buccaneers coming up, even more boo-boo kitty, even though Tampa Bay is up 1 game on the Carolina Panthers and the Falcons right now, but they all have losing records in the South. Y'all looking like the NFC least years ago. I don't know, dog. Gotta tell them to get that together. All right. Speaking of a team that should be flying high, that's not flying high right now, is the Atlanta Falcons. Your thoughts on the Atlanta Falcons?
Oh gosh, yeah, the Falcons. They still like choking in some games, and I know they still. Well, they're finally getting rid of because I'm looking forward to seeing him play. I mean, you still got a trash quarterback, Marcus Mariota, he's on IR though. But Falcons though, I don't care about the Falcons. Next.
You said you don't care about the Falcons, huh? The Falcons. You said Falcons is boo-boo kitty. So, have we seen Desmond Ridder yet this season?
Not yet. He'll probably play on Sunday.
Okay, so you got Marcus Mariota. Logan Woodside as the quarterbacks. Haven't done much. Cordell Patterson is the only running back that matters to me. DJ Baylor, Caleb Huntley, whatever. Not really interested. BYU's running back Tyler Allegler, not really interested in either too much. The wide receiving core, I think their offense needs a revamp for sure. If I'm playing the Falcons, there's nobody I'm afraid of on this offense at all. Nobody. All right, I get they got Drake London and they got Zacharias, but I'm not afraid of anybody. Kyle Pitts hasn't had a great season this year. Not afraid of this team. This team doesn't hold any weight when it comes to, oh yeah, we should just. I mean, Grady Jarrett's the only defensive end that matters to me on this team. They got a lot of defensive tackles, but what have they done? What's their ranking? Can anybody tell me right now what the Atlanta Falcons defensive ranking is this year? Like, what are they defensively? All right. Put it in the comment section as we move on to the Carolina Panthers. Talk about the Panthers, Dalton.
Another quarterback problems. They don't have any weapons except DJ Moore, but you got rid of Robbie Anderson. You got rid of Christian McCaffrey. I thought they were going to be getting rid of a lot of people, but turns out they don't. But Matt Rule got fired during season, which I'm not surprised. I mean, surprisingly, the Panthers, they still in the playoff hunt. Yes, I know NFC South is completely joked though, but Panthers, we'll see if y'all can make good playoffs with us. Make playoffs with Steve Wilkes. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, this is a team that was 3-8. They're on a 2-game winning streak right now. Carolina Panthers, surprisingly. Winning games late in the season. Let's look at their schedule, Dalton. Let's talk about their schedule real quick. And then, go from there. I mean, their schedule coming up is interesting. They have the Steelers coming up next week. We will make picks on the show coming up. We'll make some picks. All right. So we'll save that. I won't ask you what your pick is now on that. But then they got the Steelers, the Lions, Buccaneers, and Saints. Do you think that this Panthers team can actually win 2 or 3 games and maybe steal the division?
It's possible. I mean, like if Sam Darnold can get everything together like he's been doing, I would say yeah.
Yeah, so I mean the roster they have Raheem Blackshear, obviously running the football, Devonta Foreman, Chuba Hubbard. Those guys are in the backfield. Spencer Brown is in the backfield for these guys. It's definitely going to rest on the arms of Sam Darnold for sure. As Matt Corral, PJ Walker, Davis Cheek. I don't see them. Davis Cheek, yeah. I don't see them doing anything really with this team. Wide receivers, DJ Moore, Laviska Shenault. All right, Terrence Marshall Jr., Rashad Higgins, those guys, the only one that really stands out to me, I mean, they got Shi Smith and Preston Williams, Derek Wright, right, on the team. But DJ Moore, once again, like you said, is the only one that really stands out to me. Tommy Tremble from Notre Dame. We actually interviewed him in his pro day. Interesting enough, Tommy Tremble, Ian Thomas from Indiana, and then Colin Thompson. Those guys again. Do they strike fear in you when you think about the team? Not at all, right? So if it was one position that the Carolina Panthers need to really, 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 really focus on first next year, which one would it be?
I would say maybe offensive line. I would say.
Okay, you don't like their offensive line?
Or no, I'll take it back. I'll say wide receiver next to DJ Moore because you don't got any weapons to DJ Moore.
Okay.
DJ Moore.
All right, interesting enough. Once again, you are tuned in to the Rise Up Unlimited Radio Show, brought to you by WDAP Radio and WDAP TV. I got my guy, Mr. Consistent, the guy who has more medals more Olympic medals, more medals than Kurt Angle, my guy Dalton D-Man Smith in the building. All right, in the building with the fire starter, talking 32 teams in 2 hours, having a little fun with it, on the late night. All right, on the late night tip. Yeah, I didn't know this was gonna happen, but you do what we do. All right. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in right now. For sure, like and share. We are on Spreaker.com. We are on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook as well. All right. So let's talk about these. Speaking of which, let's talk about these Buccaneers. All right. Tom Brady gets divorced to come back to play for the 6-7 Buccaneers. Your thoughts, Dalton, on the Buccaneers?
Well, first of all, hey everyone, check on Buck Flair, see if it's okay. I didn't see my guy is doing all right because I know he says please respect our privacy. Typical time. Now the Buccaneers, Tom Brady, his arms getting noodled. Like him and Mike Evans, they're not getting on the same page. I don't know what the deal is though. I mean, their defense been hurting. Shaq Barrett, his big loss was Shaq Barrett. I mean, Tristan Wirfs been missing. So yeah, the Buccaneers. You're not playing like a 2020 Buccaneers, or you're not even playing like a 2002 Buccaneers. So Buccaneers, they might be in trouble now.
So, what do you think the Buccaneers need to do next season? What moves do you think the Buccaneers need to make?
Well, I think they need to get. I don't know if he'll be a free agent next year, but I think they need to move on from Leonard Fournette because their defense is ranked dead last on rushing yards, rushing offense. But that rookie White, he's trying to use like a James White type. Their defense, I know they still got Devin White. So, yeah, I think they need to upgrade running back.
Okay, so go ahead, Dalton. Keep going.
And possibly upgrade their secondary.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you. This is how I feel about the Buccaneers. Yeah, y'all want to know how I feel about the Buccaneers? You really want to know?
I got to.
You sure? You sure you want to know? All right, I'm gonna tell you how I feel about the Buccaneers. We're gonna take a commercial break. I'm gonna be right back. All right, we're gonna take a commercial.
Bills Mafia, Don Brown. Yeah. It's the Mafia, you know I'm rocking with the Bills. It's the Mafia, you know I'm rocking with the Bills. It's the Mafia, I'm with the Buffalo Bills. It's the Mafia, you know I'm rocking with the Bills. Hey, who you reppin', what's your team? Who you reppin', what's your team? You know I'm reppin' for my team. I got that talent on my team. Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, can you catch it? Can you? Trade day is like a mask, you not catching anything. Matt Milano making plays, we not scared of any team. Best in the AFC, all the praise of Brandon Bean. You hear Sean McDermott clapping while I'm snapping? Do you? Jerry Hughes will get the sack soon as you snap it. Yeah. Andre Roberts running back, ain't no just backing. Mafia, we on a ride and we got traction. We got Beasley, we got Diggs. McKenzie make you miss. Dawson Knox with the stiff arm, treat opponents just like his. Feliciano, Deion Dawkins block defenders like the Finns. Hey, it's the Mafia. I said no one on top of us. I said no one is blocking us on top of our division, so it's clear that it's no stopping us. Google best team in the league and we popping up. Hey, who you reppin'? What's your team? Who you reppin'? What's your team? You know I'm reppin' for my team. I got the salad on my team. It's the Mafia, you know I'm rocking with the Bills.
We're back. Rise Up Unlimited Radio. Brought to you by WDAP Radio, WDAP TV. My guy, Dalton D-Man Smith, the guy with more medals than Kurt Angle in the building. That's your new nickname, by the way. I'm going to say that every time now when I'm on this show with you. I'm going to say that. That slogan right there, you deserve it. My guy, the champ. I'm the fire starter. You know who I am, obviously. And guess what? We went on a commercial break real quick, and I still don't got nothing to say for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at all whatsoever. I mean, it's abysmal, man. We watching Tom Brady struggle like never before. I mean, did he even struggle like this with New England? Like I've never seen him struggle like this. And maybe it's just because he's 45 and maybe it's time for him to hang it up. Maybe he'll hang it up this season. And
well, I know he's been struggling in New England games. So remember they lost to the Chiefs back in 2014 with 41-14. We thought he was done, but he bounced back the same year. I mean, I know he might struggle some games with the Patriots though, but
yeah, I'm just wondering, like, what was the motive behind coming back to this? This team. I mean, you have Leonard Fournette still. You still have Mike Evans. You still have Chris Godwin. Still got Scotty Miller, guys that's been around. Cameron Brate, Kyle Rudolph even plays for your team. The ex-Minnesota Vikings tight end also plays for your team. Like, I mean, is it the offense more or the defense more, Dalton? Your thoughts?
I'd say offense is more.
So you think the offense is worse?
Yes.
Okay, interesting enough. What is the Buccaneers ranked in offense? What is the ranking? What is their ranking? If we could look that up. I mean, put it in the comment section, or once again, like I said, you join this conversation by calling the call line, banging my line at 716-954-5209. You could do that. All right. Don't be scared to do that. Bang my line. I want to hear what y'all got to say, all right? I don't want to be talking the whole time, but I want to hear what y'all got to say too, all right? So, do me that favor. To say, all right? I don't want to be talking the whole. And that's my line. That's for y'all to let y'all know my line is on and it's working and in full effect, all right? Now, with that being said, man, the offensive line is okay. Tristan Walls. I mean, they got people on the offensive line. Shaq Mason. Defensively, they had Akeem Hicks, who's good. William Galston. Roaches. Rakeem Roaches has been playing okay lately at the defensive tackle position. Vita Vea, Shaq Barrett. They still have Levante David, KJ Britt. Man, I mean, they have all these guys. Devin White. These guys. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Is it just a chemistry thing? Is it the new coach? Maybe.
It's got to be because Todd Bowles, he is not the head coach material. We all saw what he did with the Jets, and I thought he was going to get – I'm glad he got another chance, though, but I guess it's the coaching. Maybe it's not the Jets. Maybe it is Todd Bowles.
Uh-oh, good thought. Good thought right there. Dalton D-Man Smith. That was really a good one. He said maybe it wasn't the Jets. Maybe it was Todd Bowles this whole time. Giving up the flack. All right. Shout out to NCW, my guy in the building. Sam Slade was in the building. All right. Commenting earlier. Des Carter said the offense is too stagnant. Defensively, they're injured as well. I don't know, man. I think a lot of teams is injured right now. Do we really want to give them that excuse? You giving them that excuse, Dalton?
Not at all. If I'm not giving my Saints the injuries excuse, I'm not giving the Bucs injury excuse. We don't need to hear an excuse about the injuries. The thing is, you need to step up whether you're injured or not. That's all you think to do is get the job done, no matter what.
Ooh-wee. I like the thought. I like the thoughts. Buccaneers need to step it up. Tom Brady, maybe it's time for you to go sit it down. All right. Speaking of which, a team that I think has sat down this season is the Chicago Bears, 3-10. A lot of people had a lot of, conversation about how the Bears will be this year. Rocco Kelly, we've had some conversations on the Chicago Bears. But Dalton, what's your thoughts on these Chicago Bears?
Well, they're nothing disappointment. Like Justin Fields, I think he's going to be a future if he gets his offensive line and new receivers all together. But even though they're rebuilding, like you trade him, Roquan Smith to the Baltimore Pigeons. You lost to Robert Quinn. to the Philadelphia Eagles. So I wouldn't be surprised that Bears, like, since they're gonna be like at number 3, I think they're gonna get Will Anderson, pass rusher from Alabama, and I think they're gonna get a linebacker, wide receiver, in the free agency. Let's not forget they got a lot of cap money, so Bears they got pretty good cap space, in my opinion.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. Bears are always the Bears, man. I don't know if I believe in any of that stuff. Justin Fields hasn't thrown too many 20-yard passes this season. And I get it. You're gonna say, oh, you don't have any weapons, whatever the case may be. But what happens if he does get weapons next year and this guy still can't cut the mustard? Would you draft a quarterback now or wait until the end of next season if he doesn't get it done?
I would say wait to end of season, unless, well, what's after the question though, or maybe get quarterback in free agency. Depends who's available.
Okay. Dad said Chicago is who we thought they were. Realistically, going into the season, it would be a joke to think that they would do anything. Okay. I can understand that. I can understand you saying that. I wasn't really much of a believer of Chicago doing anything either this year, so not really shocked, not really surprised that they did nothing. 3-10, one of the worst teams in the NFL right now, the Chicago Bears. Moving along, let's talk about the Green Bay Packers. Oh boy. Your thoughts on the Green Bay Packers?
Well, they had enough of a disappointment. I think Aaron Rodgers, he needs to finally get a new weapon. Hopefully, him and Christian Watson get together again. Like, I'm pretty good so far, but hopefully, Sammy Watkins, he's old and washed. We all know he ain't number 1.
Whoa. Okay. I don't know what happened to Dalton Smith, but I'm sure he'll be back. All right. No idea what happened to him. He'll be back shortly. Oh, look at that was quick. That was fast. All right. Dalton.
I'm back. Sorry. You kicked me right off. So I was all saying, like, hopefully Romeo Dobbs will get together. I think they need to upgrade their tight end. Their O-line is getting old. But I'm starting like they still got Jaire Alexander. Hopefully they'll get together in off season in the draft next year.
Yeah, the Packers have one of the best offensive lines in football right now. Yes, they do. Aaron Rodgers. Dude, I'm almost ready to get up again and take a commercial break. Talking about the Packers right now this season. Dismal season. Very dismal. Below average. I mean, they started off the season losing to the Vikings, got a win against the Bears, got an actual win against the Buccaneers, and we thought things would be good. They won against the Patriots, and then all of a sudden, they lost to the Giants and the Jets back-to-back, lost to the Commanders, lost to the Bills, lost to the Lions, and then finally got a win from a team that they always beat in the Dallas Cowboys, obviously. They're always beating the Cowboys. And then went back to losing again. Lost to the Titans, lost to the Eagles, beat the Bears. Okay, so that 5-game losing streak did them a disservice. Let's see, was it 5 or 6? Might even have been 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it was 5. 5-game losing streak. All right, going all the way back to the beginning of October. So they lost the entire month of October, which is crazy. Then they lost the first week of November and then tried to get it back lately. My question to you, Dalton, is can the Packers still make the playoffs?
I would say 50-50 chance though, but I hope I would want to, but I don't see it happening.
Okay. My answer is no. They have a 2% chance of winning anything. Okay. 2%. Literally. I do not want them whatsoever to be in the playoffs. They don't deserve to be in the playoffs, if you ask me.
They don't, though.
They don't deserve to be in the playoffs. All right. I would rather them get themselves together, regroup on their team, find out what the hell they want to do next year. Stop being too traditional. All right. If Aaron Rodgers is the problem, get rid of him. All right. Send him somewhere where he's going to be happy and successful, and then go from there because you paid him a lot of money. All right. You got to rise up, family. For real, Aaron. All that money you get. All right. You wanted the money, you got it. You got it turned up. Wide receivers got to do better. Running game could be a little better too. I mean, they do have a good 1-2 punch.
I think the only reason I said the offensive line because you want an offensive line, the one you drafted him back in 2011, like he's starting to get aging. That's why I said it's time to get one of the young offensive line. That's the reason why I said that.
Yeah, Des Carter said that Chicago and Denver have way too much hype around them. He said, I think Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers right now have the same problem. They need more say-so in their offense, but it's too late. Interesting enough, the conversation about having some say-so. We know Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers have had some ruffles on who runs what, who decides what. When Aaron Rodgers was too vocal, they had a problem with him being vocal. And then when he wasn't vocal in that game, and I tell you, ever since that Tampa Bay Buccaneers game that they lost, Green Bay hasn't been the same team. Even when they got beat by the 49ers, they weren't the same team. Not at all. I don't believe they were the same team. Now, with that being said, we can move right along. All right? We can move right along. And let's talk about the Detroit Lions. Ooh.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, gosh. Oh, no. Really? That's how you feel about the Detroit Lions?
Well, I'll explain to it that it's nothing I'm hating on it, but I'll explain why. About the Lions, I mean, I do give credit, though. I mean, their offense is pretty doing good. Finally, James Williamson get back from the injury. Like, if he hadn't been the injury, like, I think he'd be the first wide receiver off the board. Well, maybe if he hadn't got injured. But their defense, I mean, I like Kane Hudson, but their defense, they're still, I think they're ranked dead last in the league. But you still need to get work on still got Jeff Okudah. I think their linebackers need to get to work. Imagine, I think they need to get defense paired with Hayden Hutchinson. And I know they still in the playoff hunt, though, but that's all I got to say.
All right, so Jared Goff has actually had a decent season this year, a really good season with his 3,352 yards passing. Williams has had a good season running the ball, 806 yards. St. Brown has had a really good season, almost 1,000 yards receiving. They have some studs. All right. They also had, I think he's Arizona's old linebacker, and he came to Detroit. But nevertheless, he has 100 tackles this season. And Joseph has 3 interceptions. The safety for them has 3 interceptions this year. So, I mean, they have some bright spots. I mean, Swift, Williams running the ball. Then you got St. Brown. You got T.J. Hockenson, DJ Chark, who I think is really good. Jay Reynolds. And again, you mentioned Jameson Williams. Yeah, that's interesting that he came right into in his first catch was a touchdown. Touchdown.
Yep.
Speedster. I think Detroit is going to be really good next year. Jameson Williams and those guys, I think they're going to be really good. He had that 41-yard touchdown right on his first play, NFL play, which is got to be super exciting. I think they have some weapons. I think they can do some things on defense, maybe a little better. But they just got to get to work. I feel like they got to get to work. I mean, they have Pascal. Pascal is their defensive end. Pascal's not a bad defensive end, not a bad defensive end. They got Aiden Hutchinson. So it starts there on the defense, and then you just got to work your way around and build that defense around those guys that you have. Their corners are god-awful.
Yeah, very awful.
Jeff Okudah, see? That's another guy. You got to build around him. He has 60 tackles. He's fourth in tackles on this team. All right? He's fourth in tackles on the team. He has 5 pass deflections. Build around those 3 guys. Hutchinson, Okudah, and who did I mention? Who else did I mention? See? Just that quick. And Pascal. All right? Build around those guys. And then let's see what happens from there. They traded T.J. Hockenson to Minnesota, right? Yeah, they did. Yeah, I'm sorry. Did I mention T.J. Hockenson?
You actually did.
Yeah, I did. And they traded him. Yeah, they traded him off. That's right. He's a Minnesota Viking. Thank you. Yes.
And also the reason I said, oh gosh, my lines. The only reason I said because I was like, unfortunately they'll make playoffs. I didn't want them to, and the reason why I said nothing against the Lions sense, but I'm not gonna mention anyone's names, but some Lions bandwagon who's on train keeps saying, "What up though? If they make the playoffs, I will not been here in this."
You ain't gonna never hear the end of it if they make the playoffs on. You know this, right? You will never hear the end of it.
Well, Lions bandwagon who's been on a train. I will mention name. I'll give you initials. Dennis Holmes.
He was on the Lions bandwagon?
This year he is.
Wait a minute. I thought, okay, maybe he is. I thought it was another team that. No, he told me the Carolina Panthers was making the playoffs.
He still had it. He still got the Panthers win the division anyway, but it's you never know about him. He's always been everywhere. Like you know how he is.
Yeah. I know. It's all good though. Nevertheless, oh yeah, somebody just sent me Rasmus Dahlin's goal tonight. We know Rasmus could score. By the way, that's hockey talk. But let's get back to this NFL talk. We are in the NFC North. Let's talk about those Minnesota Vikings, 10-3. Vikings pretty much might have the division locked. They lost to Detroit, though. They've had some questionable games. Your thoughts on the Minnesota Vikings?
Well, they had some questionable games, though, but defense, I thought their defense was going to be pretty good, though, but when I looked at their defense, they're completely trash, though. But their offense, they're pretty doing good. I like Kevin O'Connor doing good with the Vikings. Still got Justin Jefferson, KJ Osborne, Adam Thielen. You got TJ Hawkinson, but you still got Dalvin Cook, Alexander Madison. But, yeah, I think Vikings, they're going to win the NFC North no matter what, though. But they need to get to clinch the playoffs pretty soon, though. I'm surprised they haven't clinched it yet, though, but they'll get to it.
Yeah, I think the Vikings clinched the division. They've won a lot of close games. They won against the Jets close. They beat the Bills in a thriller. They beat the Commanders by 3 points. They beat the Patriots by 7. They beat the Dolphins by 8 points. They beat the Bears by 7, Saints by 3, Lions by 4, and they beat the Packers convincingly the first week of the season, 23-7. So how many games is that they've won by single digits this year against teams? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of their wins have been single-digit wins.
Oh, wow.
9 of them. All right, 9 of them. And 7 of them are by a touchdown or less. And this is a Minnesota Vikings team that's 10-3. Do you think the Vikings are for real if they do clinch the division, or are they a first round out?
Well, that's a tough one. Maybe the first round out, but I'll say first round out, in my opinion, though.
Okay, so I'm looking at the standings. So watch this. Let's take a look at the standings real quick. If we were to go playoff right now, the Minnesota Vikings would be the number 2 seed, surprisingly, because the 49ers are 10-4. They're 10-3. They would play the New York Giants in the playoffs right now. Surprisingly, listen to this. Every team in the NFC East is in the playoff picture right now, in the top 7.
Oh, wow.
Everything. That's why I'm telling you there's no way I think Carolina makes the playoffs. There's no way. I don't even think Detroit makes the playoffs. And they're the closest to me. I don't like the Seattle Seahawks schedule. Detroit's the closest. But the Giants, Commanders, both same record, 6-7. Whoever plays those two, it's going to be tough. Minnesota will only go as far as Kurt takes them. That offense is too good to not make a serious Super Bowl chase. Agreed, but that defense is atrocious, and there's 2 things that travel, defense and running game. We all know that travel. Dalvin Cook's pretty good, but can Minnesota's defense be good enough to get them over the hump? I don't know. The Giants, that's a tough game. That's a tough game. Saquon Barkley could run just as good or better than Dalvin Cook. And Dable's got a stable defense over there in New York. Oh, that could be a tough game. All right, that's not an easy go against the Giants. So,
and before we go to the next one, though, when you mentioned the Panthers, too bad we can't forfeit the NFC South, because the NFC South, they're not even trying. Like, can we just eliminate all of them, get a new team for that replacement? I know that won't happen, though, but just saying.
Absolutely. Oh, boy, oh, boy. All right, with that being said, we are about to get into the NFC East, but real quick, we are in our first hour of the show. And with that being said, we're going to take a couple commercials just to let y'all know what other shows we got. Everything Buffalo show we have in. We also have Monday Night Madness show that we have too, so we'll show commercials on that, plus something else. All right, so stay tuned, stay locked. All right, we got you. Monday Night Madness every Monday night, 7 or 8 p.m. All right. All right. And we are back. Obviously, 1 minute. We took 1 minute off real quick just to get into the NFC East, the division of divisions right now in the NFC. Dalton, we just was talking about the Giants. Your thoughts on the Giants?
Well, I'm giving credit to Brian Daboll. He's turning the Giants around. Finally, Barkley's healthy. I mean, Daniel Jones, he still needs some weapons. You paid $72 million killing Galladay. You haven't scored a touchdown. You're nothing but disappointment. He's on IR. Still need to get a tight end. Their defense, they're pretty doing good though. But yeah, I know you won't win the division though. But I do give credit to the NFC East. You're not being NFC East this year, so I'll give you credit though. I'll be nice though. But yeah, I think Giants are pretty good. But if it was in playoffs right now, Giants and Vikings, that's a tough one decision. So that's all I gotta say.
All right, interesting enough. Will the New York Giants make the playoffs? Is the question that I ask folks right now. Will they make the playoffs? They have the Commanders coming up Sunday night. In Washington. All right, that is their next game coming up. All right, then they have the Vikings, the Colts, and the Eagles. Do the Giants win enough games to get into the playoffs? To me, they have to win 2. At least 2. That Eagles game, that Vikings game. Once again, we talked about the Vikings-Eagles matchup. We might get it next week. A preview of what could be the first round. Do you think, Dalton, that these Giants can win 2 games?
I know they can beat the Colts, but the Eagles maybe, and I'll explain why. Because if the Eagles would have already clinched the playoff first round bye, then unless they bench the starters though, but that's why they could beat the Eagles if the stars are benched.
Okay, interesting. All right. Good way to think about it. Actually, you talked about Kenny Golladay too. Kenny Golladay, god awful. All right. Saquon Barkley has been holding this team down. Slayton's been holding the team down on the receiving end. Only 608 yards from him this season. Saquon Barkley almost 1,100 yards. Daniel Jones, completion percentage is 66%, which is pretty good, but he only has 12 touchdown passes. But he does not turn over the football like that. He only has 4 interceptions this season. He's been sacked 41 times. You mentioned wide receivers. Is that the place you would go if you're the Giants this season coming up?
Absolutely.
All right. So you don't believe in Shepard, Hodgins, Robinson, James, and Slayton. They need more weapons.
I believe Robinson didn't even know he got it. But Shepard, he's only injured. So I think you need to get another weapon besides Robinson.
Okay. Should Kenny Golladay be gone?
Yes.
All right. Interesting enough. I think the Giants got to win 2 games to make the playoffs. They've got the Commanders. That's right there. Can you believe that the Giants are really in last place? As good as a coaching job that Brian Daboll has done, the Giants are really in last place in the division. Interesting enough. All right. Commanders. What's our thoughts? The Commanders and Giants. Definitely last game they played went 20-20 tie in overtime. And I don't know how they got scheduled back to back. That is crazy. Do you know the Giants' last game was against the Commanders? And then this week they got to play them again?
Oh yeah, because they had a bye last week. The Giants did. I
Yeah,
forgot
the
about
home and home. They had a bye last week in the home and home now. So they got a home, bye, and then play the same team you played just last week. Play them again. That's crazy. Have I ever seen that NFL history where you play a team once, get a bye week, and then play them the next week in the regular season? I don't think I've ever seen that.
I don't. I haven't seen it either.
Talk about the Commanders.
Yeah, I like Taylor Hockey. He's been doing though, but he's been doing good though. I say it though. You're not the long term answer, Taylor Heineke. We haven't seen you play full 17 games because you're almost 30 years old. Carson Wentz, you're done. You're not a good quarterback, but still got Terry McLaurin, Chase Young coming back from injury. Still got Duane Payne. I think they need to upgrade their secondary and their defense. That is my opinion. And
Woo! All right. Well, tell you what. I'm looking at their schedule right now and their stats. You know, Carson Wentz has only thrown for 1,400 yards this year, 10 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Tyler Heineke has came in, played 7 games, has thrown just as many yards, less yardage per game, 1 less touchdown and 1 less interception. He's been sacked 14 times. Do we really believe in the Washington Commanders? Gibson, Brian Robinson, McKissick, really good running back trio. Terry McLaurin, obviously. Dotson, Samuels. I mean, do we really believe in this team, though?
well, I would say probably yeah.
Okay. So you believe in the Washington Commanders. All right. I believe in the Washington Commanders. Like, I believe that we definitely saving this AFC side. We was going to do 32 teams in 2 hours. I think we're going to cut it. We're going to cut it. We're going to do just NFC tonight. And then we're going to save it and give y'all some more. Give y'all the AFC next week. Well, not next week, but the next show coming up. Because we got other things I want to talk about, be honest with you, before the show is over. And I don't think we're going to be able to do all this in 2 hours. You think we can get it done in 2 hours?
I really don't care. I mean, it's up to you.
I don't really care.
We can save for next time though. But I mean, if you want, got something to talk about, like scores and predictions, if you want to.
I want to talk. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I want to talk about 2 other teams in the NFC, and then I haven't talked about this with you in a while. But we gotta talk wrestling at some point. Gotta get a little wrestling.
Actually, I would say we need to talk about wrestling though. We can say the AFC some other time though.
Yeah, man. Let's finish these 2 up. Talk about the AFC. Right here, you listening to the Rise Up Unlimited radio show, brought to you by WDAP Radio, WDAP TV, Spreaker.com. You know, you are on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook right now. As we speak. But I want to talk about these 2 teams and then talk a little wrestling with Dalton Smith, my guy, the guy who has more medals than Kurt Angle, by the way, right now. All right. Listen, when we talk wrestling, I'm gonna name a wrestler and you're gonna tell me how you feel about the wrestler and what you see. All right, coming up. All right. So let's talk Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys 10-3.
Well, Dak Prescott, he ain't pretty good throwing deep balls, but you missing Amari Cooper. Still got CeeDee Lamb, but I think y'all need to upgrade wide receiver though. But the running back, Tony Pollard, is better than Ezekiel Elliott. I said what I said. Ezekiel Elliott, you've been watched ever since you got paid. But on the defense, I like their defense. Dan Quinn's doing their defense, but I still think they need a cornerback to pair with Trayvon Diggs. Though still got linebacker Fanish is still a 1-year deal, but they upgrade their linebackers. I mean, I know you got Michael Parsons, but you still got the linebackers pair Michael Parsons. And that's all I gotta say.
I don't know if I believe in the Dallas Cowboys.
This is our year.
I mean, they started the season off getting their boots smoked by the Buccaneers. They barely beat the Bengals. That was a phenomenal football game. They beat the Giants by 7. Beat the Commanders. They beat the Eagles. I mean, they beat the Rams, but then the Eagles came in and shut that all down. That was Cooper Rush's 4-game winning streak. Remember that? Cooper Rush had a 4-game winning streak. Came in, won those games, lost to the Eagles. One beat the Lions. They destroyed the Bears, then lost to the Packers. Destroyed the Vikings, beat the Giants again, and then destroyed the Colts. All right. And then barely beat the Texans. Is this we don't know what team we're going to get week by week for the Dallas Cowboys?
I mean, they're been struggling, though. You barely lost. Well, you barely beat the Texans, and you got the Jaguars. I know you're not talking about AFC right now, but I'm going to get this out of the way, though. But Jaguars, they're pretty impressive, though. Anything's possible.
Anything is possible. You're right. Speaking of which, anything's possible. Let's talk about the 12-1 Eagles. Lord have mercy. Are they the best team in football? Honestly,
I'm going to say no, and here's why, though. I think they remind me of 2020 Pittsburgh Steelers. Y'all being the fake teams before y'all lost to the Commanders. And ironically, the Commanders, they beat Philadelphia teams, well, Pennsylvania team, because 2020 they beat Steelers while they're undefeated, and now they beat the She-Gulls undefeated streak. So, yeah, I know you still got MVP Jalen Hurts. You still got A.J. Brown, who's a monster. That Titans dummy got rid of trading him. That was a pathetic move. Miles Sanders, no touchdowns last year, but you got 10 touchdowns this year. But their defense, they're pretty not a joke as well. So, I don't think the Eagles are real. For real, they're kind of like a fake teams, in my opinion.
I think the Eagles organization has done a very good job putting the pieces together to be successful. Jalen Hurts has had a really good season. He's been able to bounce back in the season that he was in question for. Really good job, putting pieces around him. A.J. Brown has been a phenomenal addition, has helped a lot. Devonta Smith has stepped up for sure. Totally, and the other wide receivers that have played around him have definitely stepped their games up as well. So it's good to see the organization piece everything together offensively and defensively. Nick Sirianni doing his thing over there in Philly. Gilly, Philly. Where the Eagles roam 12-1. So I don't know if they're pretenders. I don't think they're pretenders, but I do think that if they run against good teams like the 49ers, you might have an issue coming up. You may have some issues against them in the playoffs. So watch out for that. Watch out for those good teams, because when you play dismal teams or teams that people would see you play down to, that may be an issue when the playoffs come into play. All right, so really don't have a lot of I don't have anything really negative to say about the Eagles, but they got to keep going, keep doing what they're doing. All right, they most likely will make the NFC Championship game. is what I think against the 49ers. But that's an early prediction I just gave you guys. All right. Bam. With that being said, predictions. All right. No one predicted that we was going to do this on the show. We will talk about some wrestling real quick. I'm gonna ask Dalton for 4 minutes. For 4 minutes. Watch this. The 4-minute drill. Ready? The guy with more Olympic medals than Kurt Angle. See? And that's where I segue right into this wrestling thing. Talk about how you feel about each wrestling promotion. 4 or 5 minutes. I'll let you go.
Well, Vince McMahon, I'm so glad he stepped down with this whole scandal, which I'll try to be very careful. But hopefully Triple H, like he's been a pretty good job though. You know, some Raw matches been stale. Hopefully he'll get better new feuds for SmackDown. Still got Roman Reigns, part-timer, pathetic though. Still got Walter. I still call him that. I don't care what anyone says. Sheamus, Drew McIntyre's been stale. Impact Wrestling, I don't care about that show. AEW, I've been liking some matches. Been pretty doing good together. New Japan Pro Wrestling, I had nothing to say, but shout out to Ian McKelly, all that stuff. So that's all I got to say. Oh, yeah, NXT, Shawn Michaels, pretty good matches and made pretty good matches, though.
Wow, that was quick. That was super quick. That was fast. You don't like Impact at all.
I did at first, but not anymore. It was been dead ever since. Well, I like because of AJ Styles, but Hogan ruined TNA Impact, and I don't care about Dixie Carter either.
Yeah, I haven't heard that name in a while. Dixie Carter. It's hilarious. Dixie Carter. All right. Couple questions. Best heel in wrestling is?
Are you still like it all time or right now?
Right now.
Ooh. That's a tough one. I'm going to say MJF.
Okay, MJF. All right, interesting enough. Best face in the game right now.
You know, he's been stale. I'm going to say Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre? Best face in the game? Drew McIntyre?
It was a joke. I'm just giving a hard time.
Wow. No, if that's how you feel, whoa. I'm just like, I can't stand. Whoa, what? Drew? Okay.
Let me take that back.
Give
I'll
me
say
some
Rey Mysterio.
Huh?
Rey Mysterio.
Okay. I mean, that's your thoughts. I feel you. That's your thoughts. I don't know if I'm going with Drew. Drew is way too stiff.
I just want to see your reaction was. I don't think he's the best face though. But if I pick best face, it's got to be Rey Mysterio. I don't got any pretty good faces besides Rey Mysterio, Riddle. But if I had to pick one, it's got to be Rey Mysterio.
Best face in the game right now. Bianca Belair. She's a female. Yeah, she is. Best face in the game right now. Wrestling wise, WWE wise. AEW. I don't know. A lot of those wrestlers are tweeners or heels. I don't know who to say as a face in AEW. New Japan, obviously, New Japan Wrestling. I leave that to Rocco Kelly a lot because I can't watch New Japan Wrestling all like I want to.
Well, be honest with you, I wish I could watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. Unfortunately, I can't watch it either. So I wish I could, though, but can't get a chance.
Yeah, as much. But Impact, yeah, I don't care for Impact too much either. So yeah, Bianca Belair to me, best face in the game. All right. Let's name a couple wrestlers. Obviously, Royal Rumble is coming up. But let me name a few for you before we go. Josh Alexander, best face in the game right now, said Jay Andre.
I'm not gonna argue with him because since we don't watch Impact Wrestling, I can't say nothing about it though. I mean, since he watches Impact, since he knows about it more than we do, I'm gonna respect this opinion.
I'm gonna respect that. All right.
And DeAndre, I'm surprised you didn't say the name that I thought you was gonna say. To be honest with you,
Sami Zayn.
what? Hang on a second. You said face the game, so you're not talking about the face like as a good guy. You meant like.
No, I meant what we was talking about. I'm just naming wrestlers now for you to describe how you feel about them.
Oh, you talking about Sami Zayn?
Mm-hmm. Sami Zayn.
He is very MVP of the Bloodline. Like he's more like a Daniel Bryan treatment, in my opinion.
Okay. Karrion Kross.
I would say pretty good. I mean, he's much way better upgrade the last time with this old gimmick before he got released. So hopefully he'll keep doing some more. You know, he need to get better matches though.
Mandy Rose.
Oh gosh, better NXT than the main roster, I would say.
You answered that real smooth. I like how you answered that real smooth. Real smooth. I like that. New Day.
Yawn. The reason I said that because we haven't seen the Hills lately. Because I want to see the Hill New Day, and yeah, congratulations, Kofi Kingston, you're 15-time World Tag Team Champions. Though, please turn heel again. I really miss y'all turn heel. I think y'all getting boring as face. So that's all I gotta say.
DeAndre said Mandy Rose, modern day Trish Stratus. Okay. Interesting thought. New Day is stale, he said. New Day is straight stale. Pretty Deadly.
Oh my goodness, they are nothing but I can't stand those guys. They're pretty annoying. So next,
Roxanne Perez.
oh my goodness, I'm so happy for that. She won NXT champion, beat Mandy Rose. She's not my favorite though, but I'm very happy for her though. But I think she's gonna be pretty good though. She won't break the Oscar's record though, but I think she'll pretty do good. I think she's the future. I'm so happy for her winning NXT champion.
Cora Jade.
Cora Jade. Oh my goodness. I think she'll beat Roxanne Perez since I think that's gonna happen though. Cocky heel.
Teresa Serrano.
I got nothing to say about that.
Nothing to say about her?
That's the Impact lady, and she the one who's playing. Oh, that's Emma, right?
Huh?
That's Emma. I'm trying to figure out who that lady is.
She an NXT wrestler.
Oh. Man. She ain't better than Mandy Rose, though.
Can anybody tell me who Teresa Serrano is on NXT? Interesting enough. We'll leave it in the comment section for you.
I mean, I gotta remember who she looks like, though. I know who she is. I just forgot what she looks like.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let the audience look that up, who she is, and put it in the comment section. It'll come very shortly. The answer. All right. Walter.
I think he's a future world champion, in my opinion.
Carmelo Hayes.
Very future NXT champion, in my opinion.
Grayson Waller.
Overrated.
Braun Breaker.
Oh, gosh. I think he's a boring NXT champion, in my opinion.
Wow. Really?
I mean, I think, well, I wouldn't say most boring like the other NXT champions, though, but I think he's starting getting boring on NXT 2.0. Like, his match has been getting stale lately, in my opinion.
All right. Name 5 debut entries for the Royal Rumble.
Debut entries. Ugh. I would say AJ Styles, one of them.
Debut? AJ Styles ain't debuting.
Oh, you mean this year? I thought you meant like an overall.
No, this year.
Let's see. I would say Braun Breaker be one of them.
And it could be males or females.
Okay. I would say Cardo Jade, Roxanne Perez, Carmelo Hayes, and I don't know what happened, but I'm going to say Walter.
I said, Jay said Walter, wrestler, WWE Wrestler of the Year. Braun Breaker is NXT's Goldberg, and Matt Cardona.
Oh, Matt. Okay. And by the way, Jandre, you're supposed to say Oberg, not Goldberg. Oberg. You know better than that. You know you're a wrestling fan.
Oh, all right. I'll leave it at that. I know you guys got a Draw You coming up. You know, Draw You clubs. Shout out to NCW. We definitely around for sure. We working, man. Wrestling practice is crazy too, by the way. Very interesting. Can't wait for Sunday morning wrestling practice coming up. You guys make sure you support. Dang, man, we appreciate it. Rise Up Unlimited Radio Show, brought to you by WDAP Radio, WDAP TV. My guy, the guy with more medals than Kurt Angle, Dalton D-Man Smith, Mr. Consistent One, was on the show with us tonight. We appreciate all the love and support. And, of course, we got to talk everything today. Got to talk wrestling, some football, got to talk a little basketball here, a little with the NCAA. Keep a mixture of all that going on. And by the way, one last question. I don't think I ever asked you this, Dalton, but I'm going to ask you now. Deion Sanders becoming Colorado's coach. What's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, happy for him. We'll see how he does with Colorado. But we'll see how they do, though. But congratulations to him. I thought he'll go to, like, Big Ten or Pac-12 conference, but I mean, it is what it is, so we'll see how he can do.
All right. Cool. With that being said, breaking news. Louisville became the first ACC volleyball team to win to play for a national title today as well. So breaking news on that. Look at me sneaking volleyball in there too. Snuck that in there too. All right. We will talk more next week. Rise Up Unlimited Radio. Thank everyone for tuning in. Appreciate you. I'm going to play the commercial, and we're out of here.
Yeah. Bills Mafia. Don Brown. Yeah. It's the Mafia, you know I'm rocking with the Bills. It's the Mafia, you know I'm rocking with the Bills. It's the Mafia, I'm with the Buffalo Bills. It's the Mafia, you know I'm rocking with the Bills. Hey, who you reppin'? What's your team? Who you reppin'? What's your team? You know I'm reppin' for my team. I got that talent on my team. Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, can you catch it? Can you? Trade day is like a mask, you not catching anything. Matt Milano making plays, we not scared of any team. Best in the AFC, all the praise of Brandon Bean. You hear Sean McDermott clapping while I'm snapping? Do you? Jerry Hughes will get the sack soon as you snap it. Yeah. Andre Roberts running back, ain't no just backing. Mafia, we on a ride and we got traction. We got Beasley, we got Diggs.